Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable. We have another amazing guest coming on the channel today, so please hit like and subscribe. And after this episode, please stay tuned to the RNU channel for more amazing guests. Let's get this on!
Hey everybody, how you doing? Just a quick little share of why I started Relentless and Unstoppable. It was for one very simple reason, because of Doug Kenny. Nothing to do with me at all, zero. I was just coaching Doug, and he took on the coaching and mentoring, and he made all the changes. He took all the suggestions from his parents as well as my coaching, but it was all about Doug, his breakthrough and his weight loss, his willingness to accept that he is dealing with high functioning autism and other issues, but he's never quit, he's never given up. So we did one interview with him to share his story, and then we decided to start interviewing other people. And Doug has now taken over the whole channel, and he does all the interviews, he runs everything. He's just an amazing young man. So RNU was born from simply what an amazing young man Doug is, and his story needed to be shared.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Relentless and Unstoppable. We're here with Jessica from the island of Hawaii with us, and she's going to share us some news about the state. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely, Doug. So I reached out to you because you and I have become friends, and I believe your platform is very valuable. Um, but as a native Hawaiian here, both by ethnicity and as a local resident, we have experienced a tragedy that some may be aware of, but a lot of people may not be aware of. We have had a lot of wildfires that have resulted in a perfect storm, so to speak. So we had a hurricane watch with very high winds that resulted in wildfire on the island of Maui that spread at 1 mile per hour. So, it spread, or not 1 mile per hour, it spread like a mile per minute. That's the correct translation. And so it quickly spread through Lahaina as well as certain areas of upcountry Maui, and it was just a devastation. And it is the biggest natural disaster tragedy in modern America. So though they've reported just over 100 losses of life, there are over 1,000 people missing, if not more, and a lot of people impacted because we're such a tight-knit and empathetic culture, the Hawaiian culture. And so we're all devastated here in the state of Hawaii. So
That's really unfortunate. I'm sorry that's going on. What started the fires?
So there's a lot of pontifications, and naturally in any tragedy, there's conspiracy theories, and ultimately it comes down to the fact that there was a hurricane passing through, where there were high winds, almost up to 100 miles per hour, and those downed some power lines that started the fire, and very high risk, high fire warning areas because of the drought. What's important to note, though, is that Hawaii is very controlled and beautiful environment. There are a lot of natural water resources, but in general, we're an island. And so what is coming to light is that a lot of the natural springs and water resources were diverted into other areas to serve economy and tourism and whatnot. Um, that led to a drought in the areas that were affected. So I'm no scientist. I just know that it makes sense that when they went to go to extinguish the fires, and there was a lack of water resources because of reduced pressure and a lack of water generation. They could not um, save their homes, just to be blunt. So,
Have there been any homes that have been destroyed involving the autistic children there?
yes. So as you know, we had a previous podcast with Autism Moms of Kona. We're a small grassroots organization here supporting families to help them thrive so that they can develop their skills and have a nurturing environment. This is spread throughout the state. And so one of our members has been a member for 3 years, and she is from Maui, even though she's not from Kona. Because she's an IEP advocate, she's a BCBA and a skilled therapist, and she's a mother of an autistic child. She lost her home in Lahaina. So, we immediately raise fundraising efforts because there are the direct ramifications of the loss that she experienced, but there's also the aspects of being on the spectrum and neurodivergent and the special needs that when you live in fight or flight mode all the time because of your disability, and you're introduced to devastating trauma like this, it's crisis response every 10 minutes of your life. So she's a survivor. Her son is thriving in the new school. And she is continuing her advocacy and taking this tragedy and turning it into an opportunity for people to know the deeper experience of life with autism, despite any circumstance that's handed to you. And I'm really, really proud of this member. So.
Really glad to hear that. What are other autism moms or autism parents doing to support their children when they lost their home and all
that? So the number one thing is, one of the major challenges is really having that routine, having the predictability, so that you can keep a predictable way of life and a sense of grounding for your family. So in uncertain times, that's difficult for anybody. When you put an autistic person in a situation where they have none of their preferred foods, or they might not have access to diapers because they're profoundly autistic and not potty trained, they're nonverbal, and in addition to that, they can't communicate effectively. So when you're evacuating an active fire, in a circumstance like that, I just was floored when I put my family into that situation, being that I have a 10-year-old profoundly autistic child and a 19-month-old baby and a family of 5. So overall, families with autism, they are strong. They know how to vociferate their needs and request the resources so that they can get back to accommodating what they require to have like some predictability in their lives, is the most diplomatic way to put it. But in light of that, the Hawaiian community and the autism community is one full of empathy. We look at the challenges of what struggling with a disability like autism is. Like, we have a difficulty with communicating with others. We have a difficulty with socializing and establishing healthy relationships. And then we have a difficulty with maintaining that routine that helps us to regulate ourselves and feel like we can, you know, we can overcome the day, so to speak. So when you pair that with such a powerful culture like the Hawaiian culture that's fully empathic, um, it's devastating, just to say the least. We see what it's like to struggle on a massive scale, both from a sentimental ethnic culture as well as a highly challenging environmental disability where we rely on community. So when one aspect of the community struggles, the whole community comes together to try to overcome adversity.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.